Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions regarding this watch. Today, designed by American Jeff Barnes with execution by Vianney Halter. It's the famous Vianney Halter Classic. This is one of 3 watches designed by Barnes and realized by Halter, including the Trio and the best known of the 3, the Antiqua. But this is also the most wearable and traditionally graceful of the retro-futurist or futur antérieur, future past style watches. We often shorthand these as steampunk, but as you move away, you realize that the watch is wonderfully sweet because it comes in delightfully small doses. In white gold with a rose gold dial, the watch is only 36 millimeters in diameter, 9.8 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 46.3 millimeters. The surprise, because it certainly doesn't look that way, is that it uses a conventional 20 millimeter strap. So that is exactly how it works. It's a spring bar setup with a conventional 20 millimeter strap. That is not a hinge lug. It's not a Vendôme lug. The strap moves within the lug. So this is a completely normal 20 millimeter strap. The watch features a Vianney Halter buckle, and you can see it features some of the signature rivets on its outer faces. We also have a strap that is a Halter factory strap. It's calfskin on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging, brand new. On the top, you can see large rectangular and medium rectangular scale alligator leather. We have a dark blue with some stuffing, or bolstering as it's called. We have a folded edge, a monotone stitch, and then we'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. So the watch is white gold with a rose gold dial. It's got a nice weight to it, even though it's not big. The strap is stiff. It hasn't broken in, but I'm going to try to loosen it up as much as I can to demonstrate that this watch would wear well, even on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. So this is a great watch for him and for her. If you're a female collector of significant independent brands, this is the way to own a Vianney Halter. This or maybe the Gold File. Those are small watches both. And it will sit underneath the cuff. It's sheer in profile, but it's thin overall. An easy watch to wear and a very comfortable one. It has a lot of character. Now, taking a look at the case, the rivets are what stand out first, but you can see there's a lot of nuance. Take a look at the steps at the top and the bottom of the case. You can see the combination of satination and a polished bevel. You see the same on the bezel itself. You can see here a small mark. This is a pre-owned watch, but we have a combination of satin, polished beveling, and then these rivets that are circumferential before giving way to an inner bezel that also features satin and polish. Now the crystal is completely flat. You can see the crown is a work of art in its own right, double studded or 2-row studded with these little rivets in unbranded classical fashion. Now the dial, of course, rose gold with a combination of media blast, satination, and polish. You can see several different focal planes, textures, and tones. All of the characters, the letters and the numerals, are freehand engraved into the dial and then filled with black lacquer. So this is an artisanally crafted dial on every level with beautiful fired hands at center. And then if you look, you can also see the inner bezel is polished, which reflects a lot of light onto this dial to really make it seem radiant, almost as though it's reflecting back more light than it takes in. And then you can see the media blasted center that's downward stepped. On the reverse side, something familiar and something unfamiliar. What's familiar is the Longines L990 architecture, later taken up by Lemania. It has been used as the Breguet 8810 and 8815, or the Lemania 8810 and 8815. So an 8810 without a date, which is this, would be an 8811, so that's what's going on there. And remember, it was originally a Longines caliber that passed to Lemania and from Lemania to Breguet, so Breguet still uses this movement. But it's the same base that was used on the Antiqua, albeit highly modified on the Antiqua. It's not highly modified here, but what it does have is a full custom rotor. You can see we have this annular Halter signed ring, and then only one side of it has been weighted, so it's symmetrical all the way around. And then the rotor itself is a disc of sapphire, which makes it look mysterious, so it is the mysterious mass. Otherwise, we've got 2 barrels in series to give you a nice flat torque plateau. The power reserve of this movement's 42 to 44 hours. It's a 4 hertz beat rate. It pivots on 25 joules. It does feature a hacking seconds function to accommodate, let me just demonstrate that, to accommodate precise setting. And then on the reverse side, you can see that for the most part, Halter didn't touch the bridges here. You've probably seen the VH100, which is a much more heavily modified version of this. But if you look at that movement and the hard points, the barrel arbors, the pivot points of the train, you'll find that that's a highly modified version of this same architecture. It looks like a manufactured movement, but it's really this. And you can see that it is a good, honest movement. The last fully in-house caliber developed by Longines, it has powered many, many, many high horology watches because it is thin, fine, and due to the two barrels and series, it doesn't have a ton of power reserve, but it has a lot of torque and a nice flat plateau, so it is an excellent time keeper. 30 meters water resistant, so don't take it swimming, but this is a handsome and historically important watch from a brand that doesn't show up too often. I believe I have seen 3 Vianney Halter watches cross my desk and enter these videos since I started in the business now 11 and a half years ago. So if you want something no one else has from one of the great constructors of our time with a design that has stood the test of time, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.